Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're really digging into some compelling source material, specifically an article titled "The Retreat of the GOP, a Democratic Opening."
That's right. And our goal here is to sort of extract the key insights. We're looking at political strategy, how politicians engage or don't engage with constituents.
And some pretty surprising consequences the piece highlights. Okay,
Uh-huh.
so let's unpack this. The core material, it's dated June 2025.
Right.
And it describes this pretty striking situation. Republican lawmakers, across the country, reportedly in full retreat.
Yeah, abandoning a really basic democratic tradition, which is meeting with the people who elected you, town halls.
Exactly. And here's the twist the article gets into. Democratic politicians are noticing this gap.
And not just noticing, they're actively moving into these territories left open and finding some, remarkable results.
So what's behind this retreat? The article points to something specific, doesn't it?
It does. It suggests the core reason stems from a pretty clear directive from House Speaker Mike Johnson and Campaign Chief Richard Hudson.
A directive telling GOP members what exactly?
To avoid in-person town halls, at all costs. And the reason, according to the source material, is that their own constituents are furious.
Furious about?
About massive federal spending cuts. We're talking healthcare, Social Security, really essential services that people rely on.
Okay, so the leadership's fear, the article implies, was about messy confrontations, things going viral.
Precisely. The worry was that these raw, angry meetings could really blow up online, damage the party's image leading up to the 2026 midterms.
And this is where it gets really interesting, according to the source. While Republicans were facing, chance of shame.
Yeah, and accusations of a chainsaw approach to government. The material mentions specifics, like nearly half the Education Department staff gone.
Gutting the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, too, it says. So while that was happening,
Democrats started seeing what the piece calls a golden opportunity, an unexpected opening.
And there's a specific example given, right, with politician Swalwell.
Yes, exactly. The article details how Swalwell learned that Republican young Kim was reportedly too afraid to face constituents in her district, California's 40th.
And that's a significant district, isn't it?
Yeah.
The source gives some details.
It does. A median income of over $126,000. And it leans Republican, just by a couple of points, but still R+2. Not exactly friendly territory for a Democrat just walking in.
But Swalwell organized a town hall there anyway.
He did, and instead of hostility or, just empty chairs, the source says he received a sustained standing ovation.
Wow. A standing ovation in that district. That's quite an image the source paints.
It really is. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, the article basically calls this whole situation a masterclass in political miscalculation.
A miscalculation because?
Well, the thinking seems to be that by trying to avoid those potentially damaging viral moments, by prioritizing short-term damage control.
They inadvertently created a bigger problem.
Exactly. The source suggests they've kind of handed Democrats this chance, a chance to build relationships, to just show up where Republicans are now absent.
It's about visibility then, even difficult visibility.
Right. The material implies that being seen, even in tough conversations, might build more trust in the long run than, hiding. And there are real costs mentioned.
Like with young Kim.
Yeah, the piece notes she spent almost $2 million to win in 2024, and now, for 2026, she's already facing 5 declared challengers.
5 challengers. The article strongly implies that this lack of engagement, this vacuum, has emboldened opponents.
Yeah, it seems to be the strong implication, yes.
So considering all this, the retreat, the reasoning, the Democratic response, the specific examples, what's the ultimate takeaway the source is driving at?
I think the overarching insight, the main point the material makes, is pretty stark. It basically says, in democracy, you can't govern from hiding.
You can't govern from hiding.
Right. That fear of viral moments, the potential damage before the midterms, it seems to have led to this strategic withdrawal.
Which the source argues is creating a maybe even permanent vacuum.
A permanent vacuum that Democrats are very eager to fill. The article presents it not just as a tactical mistake, but as something eroding the democratic process itself.
It really makes you think, doesn't it, about what representation actually means.
Absolutely.
If elected officials get too scared to face the people who, put them there in the first place, what does that signal about the health of the whole system?
It's a fundamental question.
So for you, the listener, maybe something to consider is, what really stands out when you think about a political strategy that seems to prioritize avoiding confrontation over that direct, sometimes difficult, but necessary engagement?